Jai Hind to all, this is Chelsea Sen, Assistant Professor in IT Department, AKGC Ghaziabad. Today we are going to start the series of DBMS in which we are going to discuss about the SQL, that is Structured Query Language. So just discuss about this basic outline or basic introduction about the SQL. We are going to discuss about the history of the SQL, how it came, then various data definitions. Then we are going to discuss the query structure of the SQL queries, some basic operations, in which we are going to discuss about the set of operations, null values, and the different functions like the aggregated functions. So let's discuss about the SQL history. That IBM SQL language was developed as a part of System R project at the IBM St. George Research Laboratory. So that was renamed as a structured query language. There are the various standards of the SQL came already, that is the SQL 86, SQL 89, SQL 92. We can call as a SQL also. Then there are the various standard as followed. For the commercial system, it was like the SQL 92 features were used. They are the various varying features was established in this particular series. So it might be a particular examples where it might be not work in the particular system. So these are the various variants and the standards of the SQL. Now talking about the SQL parts, they are the various parts of the SQL in which we are defining the DML, in which we are defining the integrity. They are the various view definitions. So we are going to discuss about the various parts of the SQL. First of all, just discuss about the first part, that is the DML. DML is a data manipulation language in which it provides a ability to a query in which the information can be accessed from the databases. Like it have the various operations and the commands like insert the columns into the particular databases. We can insert the tuples, we can delete the tuples, and also we can modify the tuples. So these are the three features or many more features which we can be used into the DML language. So this is the part of the SQL only. Then we are going to discuss about the integrity. There are the various integrity constants in the SQL parts. It includes the DDL commands in which it specifies the various integrity constant. We will discuss by the example in the next coming slides. So these are the various integrity constants which is defined into a databases. Then we define the view definition, that which particular views is defined, we can use the this particular thing into the DDL commands. Then we are having a transaction control which includes the commands for specifying the beginning and the ending of a transactions. So they are the various transaction control commands also into a databases. Then we are having the two things, that is the embedded SQL and the dynamic SQL. Embedded is already embedded into the particular databases system. Dynamically we can change the statements for the general purpose programming languages. So next part is authorization part. It defines the commands which specify the access right to the relations and the views, means which particular table and the views have the particular authorization. Relation we are calling as a table. And the now talking about the first language, that is the data definition language. It includes the various specification information about the relations here is called as the table. They are the various terminologies we have already discussed in the previous lecture. So data definition language, what it does, it defines the schema of each relation, means it defines the structure of a table, what structure is going to be there, what is the schema of this particular table. Then it defines the type of a values associated with each attribute. It defines the what data type is includes and what the column values are there. For column value we are calling as a tuple values and the attributes value. Then we are defining the integrity constants. Then there is a that includes the indices values, that is a set of indices to be maintained in the each relation. What are the indices going to be there? Then we are providing a security and the authorization information for each relation or each table. Then DDL also defined as the physical storage structure in which each relations are there on which particular disk it will be stored. So these are the some values which is stored in the data definition language, which define the specification of information about the relation, that the where is the this particular table is going to store it, store in the particular physical storage, or which on which disk it going to be stored, which permission it going to be have. It is also defined in the data definition language. Then we are having a various integrity constants, types plus the schema. Now let's take some examples. What are the different domain types of SQLs? There are the various domain types in the particular SQL part. First defined as the character, which is the fixed length character string with the user specified length. Whatever the length user can specify, it can be specified using a n, or whatever the number you are going to give, it can be specified by the user. Then we are having the var character, that is the variable length for the character strings. Then it is again for the user specified maximum length. Then next is integer value, which stores the numbers or an integer, a finite subset of the integer, that is the machine dependent. Then we are having a small integer. These are the various domains types which is we are going to use in the SQL. Then we are having a numeric, that is the fixed point number with the user specified precision. Like for example, we are having some particular decision point, then it can be stopped at the particular points. So this is how the numeric can be defined. That for example, if we are having the decimal value, then we can use the decimal value till 1. So this is how it stores. Then we are having a real double precision floating point and the double precision floating point numbers with the machine dependent precisions. Then next is float n. So these are the various type of data types which can be used in the SQL for the defining of attributes. Now there are the various built-in data types which can be used, like these are the built-in data types, like the date we can define automatically, that is the 4 digit. We can include the year, month and the dates. So it contains the format of a date. Then we are having a timestamp, that is the time which can be defined by the time. So it can be defined in the both the things. It can be include the seconds also, and the define the hours, minutes and the seconds. Now next is the timestamp, date plus time of the date, means whole timestamp is defined, which particular date plus whatever the time is there. So it defined as the whole timestamp. We can include this thing also, and this is the built-in data type. There are the various user-defined data types is also there. We will discuss in the further slide how we can define the user-defined type in the SQL. Now there is an interval, that is a period of a time, which is include the interval, means it can be defined as the 1 day, or we can define as the date, time and the timestamp. So this is how the interval is used. Now there are the various large object types, that is it includes two things, means where where we can use photos, videos, cat files as a large object. So there are the two categories of the large object data types, that is the blob and the clob. That is the BLOB, that is the binary large object, and clob is the clob, we can say is the character large object. So talking about the blob, that is the binary large object which is used for the large collection of the uninterrupted binary data, which is included as the we can say that it can be the left to an application outside the database system. In the clob, we can use as the large character large object which includes the character data types. So this is how we can use the photos, videos or the long objects file into the SQL. Now talking about the user defined data types, we can create our own type into the SQL also. There's the syntax, like we can create type, we can write create, then we can write type dollar we have defined, and we can define as the numeric. Numeric is called as our particular type in which we have affixed the particular decimal point. We have discussed in the previous slides also. This is how we had given the thing. So this is how we have defined this particular dollar as its our type, and which we are going to use in the particular example. So this is how we can define our particular user defined types. what we have done, we have written create, then we have written type, whatever the type we have to include. Then we have mentioned the dollars. This is the type we have declared as a name. So whatever the name you can give, then we can declare into the like numeric, and we can take integer value, we can take the glob and the blob, and we can vary the numbers also. So this is how you can declare as a user defined types. Then over here we have used budget as a dollars. We can include as a type over here. Then there are the various commands in which we had used the different operations, like first of all, just how to create particular table, how to create a particular relation into a particular SQL. So let's define how we can create the table. So in an SQL relation, it is defined by using a create table. First, we have to write the create table. Whatever the name you are going to give, you can give that. Over here, we had given the name, that is R. So R is a relation, or we can say it is, we can create a table 1. Then we can define as the attributes and the data types. So how we can terminology over here is, over here R is a relation, then A1 or A2, AN, whatever number of attributes we are going to give, or whatever the number of columns we are going to give into the table, we can define it as an attribute names. Then what we have to do, we have to define the data types. That is, we are defining from the this. So this is the example over here. What we have done, create table, we had given a name, that is whatever the name you are going to give. Then we are defining what columns we are having. For example, this is a schema I'm going to make over here. We are having a ID, that is a one attribute, which having a data type, that is a character, and the length is 5, that is a variable length, we can change it. Then we are having a second attribute, that is a name, which we are going to give in any data types like a variable, character, or we can specify the length. Then we are having a department name. Again, we had given the where character as a data type. So we can define the multiple attribute name, and we can define their data types. This is how we can create the table. Now we have discussed in the first slide that there are the various structure, where the schemas, where's integrity constants. So for the schema part, we have discussed in the previous slides that how we can create a schema of a particular table. Now talking about this integrity constant, we are having a different integrity constant. So there are the two types, like a primary key, foreign key, and the null, not null value. We can define the integrity constant into our databases. So how we can define it, we can directly mention. For the primary key, we had mentioned we have to mention against the attribute value, means whatever the attribute we have to make as a primary key, we have to give as a constant over here. For the foreign key, we have to give the reference for the table in which we are going to that is the primary table name we have to give. Now just take an example, then we will understand the better thing. Now let's take the previous example only and add on the integrity constant in that particular table. Now in this particular table, I just want to add ID as a primary key. So how I had given the constant over here, that the primary key, then I have mentioned the ID. Whatever you have to make, whatever attribute you have to make as a primary key, you can mention the name over here. So you can write simply primary key and the attribute name. Then for the next thing, that is the foreign key, you have to specify the relation or a table name in which you have to use the foreign key. So we have defined foreign key, then department name. This is over here as a attribute of a different table. So that we are going to make as a foreign key. So we have to reference that particular table into this particular commands. So this is how we had used the commands for the primary key and the foreign key. These are the integrity constant which prevents any update to the database which can violates an integrity constant. We can use the not null value also, that we have to mention that particular value that self. Now how we can update the tables, like we can insert the things, we can delete the thing, we can drop the table, we can alter the table. So these are the various commands which we are going to update into a table. For example, we have already made a structure of a particular table. Now, if we want to put on the values into this particular table, then how we can insert the table, how we can delete the table. So these are the commands over here. First discuss how we can insert the values into this table. So simply a simple command is there, that is the insert. So what we have to write? Insert into the table name. Then we have to define the values. Whatever the values we have to give. For example, we have taken the ID. In the previous structure, we have taken the ID, name, department or salary. Suppose these particular values we had given into a attribute value we had given. Now we have to insert the values. So over here the ID is this, name is Smith, then we have defined the department, then the salary is defined. This is how we can insert the values. So you can insert the values one at a time or a multiple values also. Similarly, if you want to delete all the tuples from the relation, then you can write simply delete from whatever the table name is there. You can define the table name, then you can delete the all tuples, means whatever rows are there, that will be deleted. Then we are having a drop table. It will drop the structure of a table, not the rows. It is also going to delete the whole structure also. Now we can alter the table. If we want to additional add the attribute values, we can additional add the attribute and the data types also. Now talking about the altered part, we can alter, we can add, we can delete, or we can drop the things also. So first we will discuss about the alter table, then we can add. If we want to add one attribute extra, then I have to define the attribute name and the data types also. Similarly, if I want to alter a table or a relation in which I want to drop an attribute, I have to mention the name also. So this is how we can give the command alter table. R is a table name where we can add attribute and the data type. So similarly, we can write alter table. We can, for example, I'm just mentioning over here a college. So over here the extra attribute will be added, that is the college. So I'm going to write alter table. Then relation table was instructor. Then I'm adding extra attributes, that is the college. And I have given the where character as a data type, or that size I have to mention. So this is how I can mention the. Now talking about the alter table, in which I have to drop a attribute, in which I have to drop one whole column, then I can use the drop command. Similarly, as like a additional part. Now there are the various basic query structure in which whatever things we have done, insertion, deletion part, we can see as a representation part. We can give take as a result part as an output. So for the output purpose, what command we are going to use, that is the select part. So whenever we are required a particular result, we can use a particular predicate, or we can give a conditions, then the output can become into a relation as a query part. So this is the first basic query that we can use for the result part or output part. Over here, select is a command which are going to show the output as a result. Then we are going to use the whatever the columns we are required as an output to represent an attributes. So here from a relation also we can take a result part from the multiple tables also, and we can give a particular condition. So over here we are using the condition part also. So this is the basic structure in which we are using this. AI represent as a attribute thing, R represent as a relation, P is a predicate where we are giving any condition. Like for example, in the previous example, we have taken the salary. So it should be less than 50,000, greater than 50,000. We can give any condition in this. So let's take an example for the same. What is the select clause? Which lists the attributes desired to the result. Whatever attributes we have mentioned, if we will not give any condition, it will show all the attributes, whole attributes into a table. Now, it defines the various projection operation or the relational algebra also. Now, this is the query. For example, find the names of all the instruction. If we required the names of all the instruction, then what query we can write? We can write select. We have to define only names. Only names from which table? That is the instructor table. So if we required only the names, then we have mentioned only name over here. If it will be asking a salary or a department, then we can mention their particular attributes. For example, I'm just asking find the names and the department of all the instructor. Then I can write select name and the department from instructor. Then it will be showing as an output both the name and the department from which department it belongs. So this is how we are going use the query selection part. This is the example. SQL names are very case sensitive. So you can use the both in uppercase or the lowercase letters. Like for example, we can't use both the things in one thing. Either you can use the lowercase, either you can use in the uppercase. So this is how we can use. Then we can select the various particular conditions we will discuss in this select clause. Like for example, we can use the distinct part, we can use the all part. If we want to show whole structure or whole department name, then we can use the select all. If we need a particular distinct values, then we can select distinct value, means particular values. If we want, then we can eliminate some duplicate values from the particular table. So we will discuss the next command and the operation in the next class. Thank you, Jai Hind.